Hello, good morning. This is Dr. Mishra. I'm the Vice Chancellor of RHU University, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this international conference, which is a cloud-based conference on global business trends, today on May 15th. We've got a lot of very good response for this conference, and I would like to first congratulate and thank Professor Sridhar, who is the CEO of Sbyte Technologies, who has taken the initiative to organize this international conference. Congratulations, Professor Sridhar. Would like to welcome and congratulate all the participants who have submitted their papers, although it was a challenge to select some of the papers that we felt that were good to be presented in the conference, and it's good to have a decent number of papers that have been recorded and are going to be published today as we go along. This is a very unique concept, and this way, during the period that we are locked in, we are able to still continue to have brain teasers like this. It's a great academic exercise that has been undertaken, and I feel that everyone is going to benefit from this kind of a conference. It's a new concept that has been brought in today by Sbyte Technologies. At the end, what I would like to also say is that this is a conference that is going to be rolled out on YouTube, so you could view a lot of these things from the comfort of your home in a relaxed way at any time at your discretion. So congratulations again, and let me welcome all the participants who are going to be part of this conference. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you sometimes at a personal level too. Bye. Hello, this is Dr. Mishra. I'm the Vice Chancellor of RHU University. To start with, let me thank Professor Sridhar for organizing this international conference at this time, which is a very difficult time for everyone. The topic of this conference today is global business trends, given the COVID situation that we are all in, and how this can be sustained through use of information technology. It's a very interesting topic, and I thought I should speak to you about my thoughts on this area and to give you some perspective of how global business is going to be impacted and how we can come out of it through means of use of information technology. I think the first thing that we need to do is to try and make an assessment of those factors that will have an impact on the global business, or the disruptions that are going to happen in global business. Yes, it is true that one of the major factors today will be the disruption that is being caused because of the coronavirus worldwide. There's no doubt about it. But there are other factors which are equally responsible, or going to be responsible. Some of these could be, because we are talking about the future, some of these could be the type of political disruptions that may come in the United States. Is President Trump going to come back as the President of the United States, or he's not coming back? Will have an impact on how global business is going to react. We also know that the United Kingdom as a country is exiting the European Union. This also will have an impact on the global business. I also feel that the extent of globalization and the connectivity that we are going to have will become much, much higher than what we have right now. Also, there will be an issue of China versus the rest of the world in terms of trade war, and this can have a major impacts. So let's try and look at these different scenarios. Starting with the issue of the virus right now and how it has impacted business, and what is it that we can do in order to manage the situation, the economic situation, as we move forward in the months and time to come. There is no doubt that because this is a widespread, it is across almost all countries, and there is a complete shutdown of all economic activity at this point in time. So what can be the impact on business? First, it is important for us to restart the economic activity. But we also have to remember that this is not the same thing as going into a deep recession or a war type of a situation, and where the government just jumps into the fray, spends a lot of money on public projects and gives the spending power to the people, and they begin to buy goods and services, which kickstarts the economic activity. This may be a little different than that, because at this point, we are also looking at a situation of what we call social distancing. That is, in a normal situation, when the government pumps in money and economic activity takes a new turn, upswing, in that case, there is no social distancing and people are all engaged in economic activity at a very, very fast pace. However, in this situation, that's not going to be true, because of social distancing, not everybody may be working at the same time. Some people may be working from home, and therefore it may not be possible to jumpstart the economy as it happens in a normal recessionary situation. Also, what we need to look at is that there is going to be some amount of social realignment that is going to take place in every country, because this is something that we have never had before. This is the first time we are going through this kind of a situation. So the social equations are going to shift, and we expect that new types of jobs are going to be created. Some jobs that previously existed are not going to exist anymore. There will be a new realignment of supply chains across the world. Right now, much of our supply chain is centered or passes through China. And I think the world has now realized that having too much dependence on China as a major supply chain port is going to create a lot of problems in the future. So we may begin to see shifting of a lot of economic activity that may take place in the world, and especially from China. So the question becomes, where are these economic activities going to get concentrated? There is a very high chance that much of these economic activities will continue to stay in the Asian segment. So India, Bangladesh, even parts of Nepal, even let's say up to Vietnam are the areas which are possible where a lot of this economic activity will shift. Therefore, we must, over a period of time, see not that aggressive growth in China as we have seen in the past, but a lot of growth taking place in these countries in the Asian part. Now let's look at in terms of what happens to the nature of jobs. My thought is that industry will also go through a strategic shift in their business operation. There may be new areas of business that will come because of technology and digitization that is going to take place, and it is already taking place at a rapid pace. So, for example, demand for roles in the area of artificial intelligence, such as cybersecurity or data analytics, these are areas that will have a big boost in terms of employment. So it may be very useful for a lot of younger people to begin to look at these areas of artificial intelligence, which will create many jobs. A lot of online businesses are going to have a major role in the future, and I think people are getting used to such a kind of a system right now, where they are beginning to have faith in online business operations, and this period of lockdown has essentially been a period of testing and developing that faith on online businesses, both in India and abroad. And I think online businesses have actually been able to gain that confidence in terms of delivery time, in terms of product quality, in terms of return of products by customers who are not happy, has given a new dimension to online business, and there is an expectation that these kind of business operations will continue to rise all over the world. Is there going to be a decline in manufacturing? No, I think there will be a rise in manufacturing. Are there going to be too much information technology in manufacturing? Well, that process is going to take some time. It's not going to be an abrupt shift, because abrupt shift would mean that there is going to be a very heavy capital cost involved in reorienting the manufacturing and assembly lines with high degree of information technology. So it will take some time, but the process is going to start sooner than what we would think. Now let's look at another dimension. Is a trade war between China and the rest of the world imminent? Is it likely to happen? And if that kind of a trade war were to happen, what are its implications for global business? I'm more and more inclined to believe that such a major disruption is likely to happen, where China may get isolated, because the impact that this coronavirus has had on the world, and the fact that China was too late in informing the world of the implications of this, it is possible that the new trade relations may come into play. What that will do in terms of business is there will be new realignments in the world. It is possible that because of these realignments, there could be also realignments not only in businesses but also in political equations. Countries that were very friendly may not be anymore. Countries that were not very friendly may not become very friendly as we go ahead. So we are expecting to see a new type of realignment that will happen in business. The question that most of us are more concerned in terms of global business operations is how much time is it going to take? And are we going to get into a deep recession? my personal thought is that we will get into a recession, and I think it's going to come worldwide. But it may not take too much time for us to jump back out of the recession, and my prediction is about 1 year. So in year 2021, we should slowly begin to inch out of all these things and should be coming to normal growth rates that we would expect in any country. The reason for that is that the lockdown worldwide has also changed the psyche of the consumers. Consumers now are beginning to realize that it is possible to live without too much of extravagance, and therefore it is going to take time for them to come back to their original state of mind that they had. At the end of the day, economy is based on how the consumer perceives everything. Right now, the perception of the consumer has changed and it has shifted, and it will take some time before the consumer begins to start spending a lot of money on, especially on things which are of luxury items. So that's maybe one reason why the global economy may stay in recession for some time, but is likely to jump out of it. Another area where there is a concern, and I think we will have a major impact, and that is the field of education. Why are we talking about education in terms of global business? Because we have to remember that there is a movement of students. There is a supply chain of movement of students across the world, where two countries, China and India, happen to be the largest suppliers of students to countries like United Kingdom, United States, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and a lot of their universities are very highly dependent on the ability to attract international students who have the capacity to pay their fees, international fees. This is going to have a major hit, and therefore it may have an impact on many universities outside India in terms of their financial viability is going to be in question. And the same thing may happen in India. We may see some reorganization that is going to take place in India. There may be some consolidation that may take place. So those universities and colleges that have the capacity to do a good job will continue to grow, and those that have not done that good job in the past may have difficulty in surviving, and that may lead to some consolidation to take place. In all these changes, there are also things, for example, I think there will be a great need for improvement in the soft skills of the labor force, and we need to look in terms of communication, creativity, and collaboration as the three C's that are very important in the new kind of workplace that is going to exist in India and abroad. So it would be good for those that are entering the labor force now, who are young, who are students who have just graduated and looking for jobs, to begin to think about communication, creativity, and collaboration as the three key skills that they need to develop in themselves in order to be highly employable. I also feel that one of the factors that will have a major impact on the world economy, including India, is the speed of the broadband or the internet connectivity. If we go for which is going to be 5G and above, which is high speed lightning speed connectivity is going to make the world a smaller place, and that may push globalization to a different level. Will also change a lot of things because of the situation that we are in. I think another area where we will have a major change is travel and tourism. Lot of travel that was previously being done by businesses, educational institutions, or other commercial organizations now may not take place because we have all got used to doing meetings on Zoom or Meet Google in other options, and number of options are going to be available. So there may not be a push to travel to have meetings, and a lot of these meetings, given that high-speed broadband is going to be a reality, maybe the ones that will happen, that the meetings will happen on internet rather than face-to-face, or the number of meetings that are required to pull off any kind of a discussion or a contract may reduce significantly. And that will have a major impact on businesses like airlines and travel and tourism, hotels. These will have be mainly affected by this. Also in the short run, because people may have fear of traveling, even those who are looking for travel as a tourist may take a backseat for a year and a half, and therefore that may add even more to the crisis in many countries that are dependent on tourism. And those could be, for example, like Oman, Egypt, Greece, Italy, all these, Istanbul, all these lot of countries which are highly dependent on tourism. Many countries like Kenya, all these are dependent on tourism for their survival, may go through a major problem because of the global business trends that we are seeing that will continue for some time. I think that these are some of the key observations that I have to bring on today to this conference, and I feel that you have a great opportunity to listen to a number of speakers and a number of papers that are going to be presented today. And again, I would like to thank all those who have submitted their papers, or those who are going to be speaking for this participation of everyone. And thank you, Professor Sridhar, for your wanting me to speak today, and I wish everybody a good time and hope everybody enjoys this international conference. Thank you so much. Hello, this is Dr. Mishra. I'm the Vice Chancellor of RHU University, Sonipat. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you today for this international conference, which is going to be a cloud-based conference. Please try and understand that in the times that we are living today, the complexity and the complex situation in terms of public health crisis that we are faced with, there are people who are wanting to continue with their academic pursuits. This conference is one attempt that has been initiated by Professor Sridhar Sheshadri, who has been working very hard to keep the academic community in good spirits and to continue to do a good job. This conference is essentially on computational systems for health and sustainability in view of the public health crisis that we are faced with today. We know that data is the most essential component of any research analysis. We also know that sometimes the quantum and the amount of data that is available for research is so large that it is very difficult for any researcher to make sense out of that data without any analysis. Computational systems are designed to assist researchers and scientists to make sense out of large volumes of data. Millions and millions of pieces of data can be analyzed, and stories can be written out of those numbers only through the help and assistance of computational systems and designs that are available for researchers. In this conference, it is the attempt to try and understand how such research can happen and what kind of systems are available in order for us to do the analysis of such large number of data and understand and make sense out of them. Today's conference has a very large number of papers that have been submitted. We have received over 250 to 300 papers. However, we have tried to select just about 8 to 10 of the top papers which fit so well into the theme. Our objective is to have quality papers, quality presentations that are possible. It's not the number of papers, it is the type of papers, the quality of those papers, and the research work that matters for these kind of conferences. So you will get an opportunity to witness people presenting those papers, and you will see recommendations that come out of those papers which may be very valuable for us as individual researchers and as a contribution to the society as well. So we hope that you will enjoy listening to these papers during the presentations. We have 7 speakers that have been selected to talk on different themes of this conference. 4 of those speakers are from India and 3 speakers are from abroad. And they will touch upon various aspects in the theme that is there in this conference to set an agenda for research in this area. What I would also like to tell is that when we have these kind of conferences, the idea is to bring a number of people together on a single platform. The idea is to exchange views, exchange ideas that could help researchers, especially the young researchers, find a direction to their research, find avenues that they can explore on doing research with other people, creating a network of researchers, working together with other people in this area. So I do believe that this conference, which has been initiated and planned and organized by Professor Sridhar, who is an excellent teacher and an administrator, is bringing a number of scholars together on a single platform. This is a new concept in conferencing, and it is my belief that everyone who is going to be involved in this, either as a participant or as a listener, or just a researcher who has a curious mind, will find this a concept of understanding how research is done and what is the kind of research that is being done in the area of computational systems for health and sustainability, will benefit from this, and therefore I personally encourage a lot of participation in this conference. I wish you all the best for everyone who is going to be involved in this, and I welcome you to this conference today. Take care and best wishes. Hello, good morning. This is Dr. Mishra. I'm the Vice Chancellor of RHU University. I would like to welcome you all to this cloud-based technical workshop that is being organized by Sbyte Technologies. More specifically, I would like to thank Professor Sridhar Sheshadri for making all the efforts to bring these kind of technical workshops and symposium online to us. We are facing difficult times, and obviously we need to keep ourselves engaged in academic pursuits, and this is one of those efforts that is being made to involve us in these kind of academic activities. Friends, we are today faced with a major public health problem. It's a problem that is existing worldwide. I also know well, and I'm sure that you also understand it, that this is going to change the way we have looked at the world. Everything that we can think of today is going to be done in a very different way. A number of things that exist today or existed before this problem may not exist anymore. Things that never existed may begin to show up. Our lifestyle, our way of dealing with people, our way of working, everything is going to change. And this is not only in the education sector. We all have been seeing how this public health issue is affecting the education system. Not just the higher education, but even preschool, primary, and senior secondary education also. We are trying to hold classes online with a lot of difficulty. And the reason for that is that the culture of online education never existed in India. And it was never allowed to grow and get promoted by the regulatory agencies. Fortunately, now the regulatory agencies are letting us do online education, not because they would have liked it, but because there is no other option for them either. So online education is going to evolve in India. And I hope that all of us, especially in the higher education segment, will look at blended learning as the model that we all should follow in the future, which we can start with lesser amount of blending, and then as our experience and the faculty get better trained in the technologies that will come, we can go to higher levels of blend. So I would say that online education is here to stay. The question is that how long will it take for us to get to that sophisticated level where we can really say that we are now imbibing online education in a very serious way. Besides education, I think industry is going to be affected very badly. At this point, everybody is just thinking, what's going to happen to the jobs? What is going to happen to students who are going to graduate? When I look at industry and I look at this public health issue and how it will have an impact on the industry, I look at three things. One, there are some types of industries or businesses that will not exist anymore. There are some that may come back in their original forms. And there will be some that are going to have a major boost because of this problem that we are faced. Those are new segments, or segments that were not that big but are likely to become very, very large segments. And those segments are going to be, to a large extent, besides the one I'm saying, there may be other areas also. Cloud computing is something that is going to be a big one. Digital payments, hospitals, medical equipment, diagnostic, pharma, medical tourism, areas like cyber security, e-commerce, both business to customer and business to business. We will see a large growth in the area of online education, insurance, robotics, areas of logistics, business analytics, network automation, entrepreneurship. These are areas that are going to grow many, many fold. And I think it's important that we realize that these are segments that are going to grow and start preparing for it. What do these segments mean? They also mean that the rate at which these segments are going to grow will require a large number of employees. But the question is that, do we have enough number of new people who are going to get into this kind of a labor force? So we should be looking at the graduating students. So those students who are into computing, computer science, logistics, cybersecurity, e-commerce, insurance, they are going to have good opportunities once the economy begins to return back to its normal state. How much time will it take for the economy to bounce back? Well, that's a question that is not that easy to answer, because there are still a lot of uncertainties that exist. I think the best guess would be that for us to understand that the economy will not return back to a normal situation until we are able to find a cure. And that's not going to happen immediately. It may take some time. So let's take about a year's time for the economy to kick back. The reason I'm taking 1 year is not only because it will take some time for us to find the cure for this public health problem, but also for consumers, or people who have to buy the goods and services, to return back to their normal habits. Please remember, there are a couple of things have happened that have changed everything. First, we have realized as consumers that it does not take too much to live a decent life. Over the last 4-5 months, all of us have realized that we do not have to spend so much money to live a good life. What that means is that a lot of things that we buy are based on an impulsive purchase pattern. Those are things that we don't need. Those are things that are emerging from our desires, but they are not our needs. They don't fulfill a need. Therefore, for the economy to bounce back, the consumers have to get back to the normal pattern of impulsive purchases that they used to make. That's what is going to create the new demand that is going to be required to push the economy back into its original place. It will take time, but it will happen. There is no doubt in my mind that the economy will bounce back. Therefore, students who are going to be graduating, who have graduated this year or who are going to be graduating next year, you will have ample of opportunities, new opportunities, and it may be relevant for you to begin to look at these areas of opportunity that will come your way, as we move towards normal state. What are the other things that could happen that will change how we are going to live in the future? I think there's going to be a shift in international education. I think it's not going to be permanent, but it's going to be temporary for the next 1 or 2 years. The number of students who would be going abroad is going to be lower than what it has been in the previous years. But that is going to be driven by the fear factor. And as we find a cure for this kind of a virus, we will be beginning to see that things will begin to return to normal, and students will go for overseas destinations for their education. I think these are some of the things that are likely to happen in the future. We also are likely to see lesser travel, even among educational institutions. We will see that a lot of things that previously were done by making travel are going to become less frequent, and more virtual meetings will be done. I expect a lot of conferences, seminars, workshops to be conducted online rather than the way that it used to be done before. So we expect a lot of changes to happen, and I hope that we all will be able to adjust to these new realities of life, and we will, as teachers, come back to the same type of a thought process that we used to have to engage with students and teachers and the community to make a contribution towards nation building. I wish you all the best, and I wish all the participants and the paper presenters all the best. A number of good papers have been selected for this workshop, and I wish all paper presenters all the best, and enjoy yourself. Have a great.
Watch this video, like this video, subscribe to this channel to watch many more videos like these of great personalities. Share this video with your friends to subscribe to this channel.